Feeding your baby with cereal or other carbohydrate food is sometimes the cause of future respiratory system in a child. So in this video, I want to talk about the nutrition of a child and how the baby's digestive system work. And at the end of the video, I'll be adding an extra tip on what can make motherhood easy for you as a new mom. So on this note, welcome to Pregnant Care. Here I provide you with relatable videos on pregnancy and postpartum. So please do well to subscribe to this channel. And our watchword is motherhood activated, patience activated, and love is all we need. Now let us go straight into it. Already you know that it is advisable to actually feed your baby with breast milk from birth till 6 months, and it is mostly called exclusive because you are not expected to give that baby any other thing aside from breast milk. In fact, from birth till like 5 days or thereabout, the milk you produce is going to be yellowish and it contains fat that the body needs at that moment. And one thing about breastfeeding and breast milk is the fact that it reacts according to your baby's milk, your baby's need. It reacts according to time. Sometimes the breast milk you get in the morning is different from the one you get in the evening. People that are regular pumpers, by now they would have noticed that there are sometimes your breast milk is looking watery and translucent white, and there are sometimes your breast milk is looking very thick, like a very thick milk, and there's some at the beginning is definitely yellowish, and so on and so forth. And this inconsistency is due to your baby's need. It's due to what the baby need at that present time. Some researchers have even come together to say that what the milk produces at night helps the baby to sleep better because it contains some particular things that make the baby sleep better when you breastfeed at night. That is one of the reasons why it is not advisable to batch pumping or pump into the freezer. But nevertheless, that is not even a big deal. But what's the big deal there is feed your baby exclusive from first month to 6 months. Now, 6 months is over, and you're wondering what to start feeding your baby. Now, I'm going to bust your brain by letting you understand that even after 6 months till 1 year, your baby is still supposed to be breastfeeding. Now, at this point, you can start introducing solids to the baby, but nevertheless, breast milk should be the major food of the child. I repeat, breast milk is still the major food of the child till a year. And if you want your baby to eat well later, it is better to start introducing with fruits that are not sweet, like cucumber, fruits that have just normal taste. So when they start with that, they're able to understand that, oh, this tastes different, this is not sweet. So over time you can start giving your child fruits that are now sweet, like maybe apple and so on. Now during this period of time, it is a testing period for them. That is why even their teeth is still called milk teeth. They are still supposed to be taking milk majorly as their major source of food. Every other food they take should just be like tasting. They want to taste food, then exercise their gum. So this is what it should be. It's not like you should now start giving them a different food entirely and start making them stay off breast milk. That is the normal way it should be. In fact, according to WHO, you're supposed to breastfeed your baby till the minimum. When it says minimum, it doesn't mean at most 2 years. It means at least 2 years. But all these things are personal and they are not that easy. I, as a mom myself, I know how hard it is to breastfeed a child and how challenging it can be. So I understand all this, but nevertheless it is always advisable to breastfeed your baby for at least 1 year. Now after 6 months, in my side of the world here, there is a food we give our baby called pap. It is a mixture of millets, and the two type of millet, that's the red millet and the white millet, and sometimes corn. So you can add corn, you can decide not to add corn, but then it is made blended and it is mixed up together like a puree and given to the child. It's actually a very healthy form of food, and I've observed that digestion of the baby gets to digest this, because when you give your baby pap, you notice that your baby will pee a lot. Yeah, it's because that pap did some things in the body. So if at all you're going to be substituting a bit of breast milk, it should be foods like this, not foods you blend. Take note, because I've seen a lot of people out there trying to blend foods like potato, yam, you blend it. What if there was no blender? Are you going to keep blending? Besides, babies are meant they may still be small, but it is okay to give them food that they know that they have to chew their gum on, even if their gum is not going to chew that food. It's them practicing. You don't keep giving them puree. Eventually, suddenly, you now want to start giving them rice. They will think they are supposed to also swallow rice directly. But if you've been giving them food, fruits, and food in their solid form just for tasting, when it is time to start consuming and using that food by their body, it will be easy for the food body to understand that, okay, chew this food and it's going to be useful. Now, coming to the digestive system of the baby cannot digest carbohydrates as a child. They don't even have the enzyme to digest carbohydrates. And so many times you give your baby biscuits, cereal, and all those things, it just goes to their stomach to sit there. If you've ever observed, you try to check the poop of your child, you're going to see that same food you have given to your child. Now, one thing is, the moment you give them this food and it sits in their tummy, they won't be able to take in more food. That is why it usually look like, oh yeah, they are eating this thing, it's good, it's not hungry. Yes, they can't be hungry because you fed them with something that is sitting in their stomach and is making them feel full. And at the same time, this thing is going to pass out the same way it has been taken. Try to observe this and check your baby's poo and come back in the comment section and let me know. But then if you have stopped breastfeeding, now this is mostly if you're still breastfeeding. Now, but the moment you stop breastfeeding your baby, for instance, probably you stop breastfeeding your baby at 8 months and you feed your baby with food, the normal food at 8 months, and you're no more breastfeeding that baby, the body of the baby is going to be hungry. The body of that baby does not have a choice but rather go ahead to digest that food, because it may not be a smooth and easy digestion for the body, but the body needs to eat, the body needs to feed. For this reason, this food is digested and it is used by the body of the baby. Now, that is why I said at the beginning of the video that these are one of the things that causes respiratory problems in the future. Since the body is not okay with that food but just needed to use it by force, now this is the cause of this issue. So it is advisable, keep breastfeeding your child, and every food you give your child will just serve as tasting for the taste bud to explore new and adventurous things. Now this way, the body will not digest the food it doesn't want to digest. It will not digest any food you give. It's just going to pass it out as feces until you stop giving your baby breast milk. So this is why it is advisable not to stop until at least 1 year, if at all. And if you can take it and carry it to 2 years. But I understand a lot of times we even want to have another child already. It is understandable, and given the challenges that comes with breast milk, it's also understandable. Now, one thing is, I've not done this video to make you feel like, oh, I'm not a good mom by not breastfeeding my child well. Breastfeeding is very personal. The challenges that come with breastfeeding is also very personal, and it is difficult to say, okay, you want to dictate for this person or that person. So look into yourself, look at your situation. How hard is this for you, or how easy is this for you, and try to work towards it. Now, I've explained how the digestive system works, and I've already let you know that the only reason why your baby is digesting those foods is because you're no longer breastfeeding. As far as you're still breastfeeding your child, most of the times these foods are passed out as feces without it being used in the body. And the reason why your baby is not hungry is that food has filled up the tummy and is not allowing the baby to feel hungry, not because the food is being useful. As long as you're still breastfeeding your baby, that food is not going to be useful because the body doesn't even have the enzyme it takes to digest them. I'm talking about having the enzyme it takes to digest them. When does your baby officially start digesting solids? It is until the teeth are true. The teeth of your baby, when they are true, that is when your baby can officially start digesting solids normally. Even if you are still breastfeeding them at that time, they will digest solids. Now talking about being teeth are being true, some the molars and all part of the teeth starts coming up. Of course, your baby will have started growing teeth from 7 months, some 6 months. It depends on how fast your child is, and doesn't matter. Now, from 14 months, that's a year and 2 months, now this other part of the teeth starts coming out. So between 14 months to 16 months, some babies, some children are done with their complete set of teeth. At this point, they can now take solid food when you see that their teeth are true. Now, there are some babies that their teeth are not going to be true until 2 years. Now, that is the reason why 2 years is usually the minimum time you should wean your child. So if your baby's child is not true until 2 years, it means not until that 2 years, it is your baby cannot officially digest solid food at all. So this is how this thing works. It is the teeth that determines what food you feed. As far as they still have all meat teeth, especially these front four teeth, doesn't mean they can digest food yet. And you trying to blend foods that are not supposed to be blended, like yam, potato, and egg, making all sort of blending just because you need to give your baby a food that can be passed through his mouth, is not usually advisable. The only type of food I would advise is that pap I've mentioned earlier, or fish. I noticed that babies digest fish, even if you just chew it a little and give it to them. Those are the two I can recommend to feed majorly your baby after 6 months. So now to the tip I wanted to mention. The first one is a financial tip. Do you know that there are washable pampers? Yes, they are washable pampers. No, I'm not talking about the olden days nappy that our mothers use, but a pampers looking in front of a very thick cloth, very comfortable cloth that you can use for your baby and wash them and use and wash. Now, this is a financial tip for people who constantly buy pampers and is causing a financial burden to them. Another tip I want to give is that one easy way out of this is backing your baby. When your baby wants to sleep, back your baby. When your baby is crying too much, back your baby. Anything, try to back your baby regularly. It's actually a very easy way out. It makes the baby sleep better, rest better, stays comfortable. Even after 1 year, try to still back your baby when they want to sleep, especially. It makes the sleep faster, it makes it easy. Backing a child is one of the Africans' oldest method of taking care of a child, and it's sincerely a very easy way out of running around, stressing around, forcing to sleep, and so on and so forth. So that is all I have for you in this video. Please do not forget to subscribe before you go and like this video. May God bless you and bless your baby mama. Take care of yourself. See you in my next one. Bye.